In this video, we'll explore the topic of emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? Peter Salovey and John Mayer describe it as the set of social intelligence that involves the ability to monitor one's own and others' feelings and emotions, to discriminate among them, and to use this information to guide one's thinking and actions. Britt Andreatta, in a lynda.com presentation entitled What is Emotional Intelligence, says emotional intelligence is about how smart we are with the human connection. In other words, how effectively we manage ourselves and our relationship. She goes on to describe emotional intelligence in these four quadrants. And as you can see on the left-hand side, it's about personal competency. In other words, a consciousness of the self, a self-awareness, a self-regulation. And on the other side, we're looking at the relationship, an awareness of others, and the ability to build relationships. Let's slow down and take a look and discuss this for a moment. Personal competence, the ability to understand who we are, our strengths, our weaknesses, our goals, our values, and to be able to identify our feelings. Having accomplished that, how competent are we in regulating those emotions? Do we appropriately express the emotion? Are we able to manage stress, manage the emotions which come when we have those trigger points? How competent are we at dealing with change and adversity? On the other hand, now let's shift over to others. An awareness of others, their values, their goals. How can we understand their emotions? Because a lot of that is going to be, the emotional content may come in nonverbal communications. Can we correctly read their emotions? When working with a client, do we know our client well enough that we can anticipate feelings, anticipate their concerns? And finally, in building relationships. What is our competency when it comes to developing others, influencing others, managing conflict, initiating and facilitating change? All the things that we need to be able to do in our role as the financial advisor. Empathy is an important concept in our work as a financial advisor. Britt writes, empathy is a major cornerstone of emotional intelligence, and my point here, it's certainly in what we do in working with our clients. Empathy is the awareness of and connection to others' needs, feelings, and concerns. Our ability to accurately sense these things in others is directly tied to our ability to do so the same for ourselves. When I read that made me think back to behavioral finance. And there, as we looked at those cognitive biases, those emotional issues that sabotage investment returns over time, the more we understand and see those in ourselves, the better we can recognize those in our clients, and we can help our clients. And I think the same thing applies here. The more we're conscious of our own self, our own competencies, we can understand those competencies, we can understand those emotions in our clients. Here's a definition from Webster, which I think does a nice job of capturing what empathy is all about. The author here writes, the action of understanding. So there's understanding, being aware of and being sensitive to and vicariously experiencing the feelings, thoughts, and experience of another. So there's that connection. Those experiences of another, either the past or present, without having those feelings, those thoughts, and experiences fully communicated in an objectively explicit manner. So the idea here is we understand our clients. We connect to what they're feeling. And at the same time, we bring in that professional objectivity so that we can be that advisor, we can be that calm person, that calm professional in the midst of crisis. Daniel Goleman, who has written a lot of information in this area of emotional intelligence, discusses social intelligence in this NPR radio. And social intelligence means being smart about the relationship. It means being empathetic, sensing what the other person's feeling, understanding their point of view, and ease and facility in having smooth, effective interactions. So it's both knowing what the person is feeling and acting effectively based on that. Well, when we think about emotions, there's obviously a wide range, and on this slide I show a lot of those. And clearly in working with our clients is that balance of fear versus greed in investing, and comfort versus uncertainty, and all the issues that you can see here. We need to be able to understand what they are feeling, and then by our data collection, by our looking at the qualitative issues and understanding what's driving those emotions so we can get to the root of the issue. Now, Solovey and Mayer offered, I thought, this process from recognition to reflective regulation. As you can see in this processing of emotions, they said, first of all, you perceive the emotion. You recognize that emotional response, either in ourselves or our clients. We're looking for those nonverbal clues to let us know that there's an issue there. Once we sense that emotion, then that can start to drive our cognitive processing of it. We can establish priorities. We understand this is an issue we have to understand and address. We might label the emotion, and then, as I mentioned on the last slide, go behind that emotion so we get to the substance. What is driving that? What is the real source of the emotion, so that we can then manage it and come in and start to plan in a way which achieves the client's need, their objective. Going back to Daniel Goleman again, he wrote in an article which I've shared with you. You'll be looking at it this week. What it takes to achieve managerial success and the emotionally intelligent leader. And when we look at those four quadrants again, self-awareness, self-management, which was the left-hand side of that quadrant, and social awareness, or awareness of our client, and that relationship management, you can see some key items fall into each one of these based on our role as a leader. For example, in self-awareness, we need to understand our feelings and moods and realize they can affect our job performance. They can affect the way that we interact with our clients. We need to understand our sense of our own self-confidence, but a realistic self-assessment of what we do, how we can help, where we may have to refer out to someone else. Self-management, the more we understand about ourselves and we can recognize what we see in our clients, we need to be able to be that anchor in the storm. We need to maintain that objectivity, that sense of calm. We want to be fully transparent. Obviously, we need the ability to adapt. Our clients' lives are always in transition. We need to understand how we might be able to accommodate that. We hold ourselves to high personal standards. We have to have the motivation to do the best for our clients, see the opportunity, be optimistic when we know that over the long term we can achieve a lot of different goals. And also suspending judgment. So you start to see how those emotional intelligence flows into our own self-awareness, our own self-management, so that we can serve our clients. Social awareness. Well, we just talked about empathy. We need to walk in their shoes. We need to look at things from their perspective. We're focused on the relationship, the service that we bring. We're aligned with our firm's values. We're culturally sensitive to the diversity of clients that we'll be working with. When it comes down to relationship management, our skill sets are enhanced when we're emotionally intelligent in ways of inspiring and influencing our clients, developing them, the knowledge, bringing them along, helping them achieve their goals, helping them deal with change and see how change is not necessarily a bad thing. We're working through managing of conflicts, building teams, networks. In summary, I wanted to take a quote from Daniel Goleman in that article, What It Takes to Achieve Managerial Success. He says being a great leader is less about handling circumstances and people proficiently and more about knowing how to and truly wanting to create an encouraging environment for those people whose collaboration you need. Working with our clients, we're their trusted advisor, we're their advocate, we're their educator, we're their advisor. And that is a team collaboration. Conversations, transformative conversations that help our clients grow, help our clients move in that direction. And the more we understand the way they think, the way they come to decisions, the way more we recognize the emotions that they're feeling and how those emotions impact their decisions and how we can help them move beyond that, the more powerful we are, the more value we bring. So, I hope you're encouraged by this to continue to research this topic. It's fascinating. There's more and more literature coming out, and in the resource section you'll find several resources that I gave you as a starting point. Plus, you may be interested in listening to the lynda.com presentation, which is about an hour and 45 minutes on this subject. Okay, goodbye for now, until the next pre-recorded lecture.